I prefer the coffee.
What up, though? It's your boy Coffee back with another one. And yes, I am currently sick. You could probably hear it in my voice, but I'm still working. And yes, this is a space where Queen's Flip was throwing, and it was a dialogue between Rocky and Joe for the 99th time about their relationship and friendship. And what you guys think? They should hash it out or leave it in the past? Give me a comment, like, subscribe, enjoy.
He played with Vince Carter.
Nah,
See
why don't
ya.
you? Why don't you go be? Now I fuck with Push, but why don't you go be down with Push? That's your bag. You like to be down with niggas that you think you could just get. Now you like to
What's wrong with
you
Push?
like. Nah, I like Push. But you like to infiltrate. You like to infiltrate through people that you think is easy to manipulate. That's your bag.
I'm just a brilliant leader.
No, you don't respect loyalty, nigga. You don't. You question my loyalty to my man. You said I'm a dick
What
eater.
loyalty? How did I ever question your loyalty to
You
anybody?
you call me a dick eater because I said I love Joe all the time. Yes.
I read a DM someone requested for me to tell you stop dick eating Joe. That got nothing to do with your loyalty and how
But you
I
also
feel
How
said
many
that you feel.
positive DMs have you read?
about Flip. None.
Thank you, Ebot.
I'm
What y'all talking
actually I
about?
actually have gone again.
What's
Yeah,
up,
I want
Joe?
Ebot to
Uh
stop
Peace,
oh.
talking.
Joe.
Uh,
Peace.
No,
What
I've
y'all
actually
talking
gone
about?
against.
I'm
I've
gonna tell you what
gone
we're talking
against
about.
the
So
grain.
Rocky
I've
said,
gone against the
hold on, let me tell
grain
my
for
man what
Flip.
we talking about. Like you said, Rocky's saying that she thinks that it looks crazy, or people think it looks
That's
crazy
a
that
lie. You
people think
lying.
people think you said people, not you. People
Hmm.
thinks it looks crazy that every time you come in here, I express my love for you and I say how much I love you and I fuck with you. She said that some of the people think that shit is what you said strange.
It's a little aggressive dick eating, dick riding
Yeah,
because it's so abundantly offered every single time
There's a
he
larger
goes.
community of people that think it's weird that you come in these spaces. Period. And
I
mm.
knew
some
you was
and,
gonna
and
take. I
some
knew
and
you was gonna
some would
take that
say
stance for
that
sure.
that's dick eating and dick riding as well.
Absolutely.
Wait, so do you only feel like that when he does it with Joe or other people in the room too? Because when I come in the room, he says a lot of good things and nice things about me too.
This
And
this
I've heard
wasn't
him
my
do that with
opinion.
other
This wasn't
people.
my opinion. I read a DM from someone who actually they just DM'd me and said thanks. So
Well,
whoever
you
this
added your
person is,
opinion to it when you said you felt that it was abnormal.
no, yeah, hold on,
Let's
hold
go,
on. What
Ebot.
I said,
Welcome back,
what I
Ebot.
said
It just
was,
seems as though you agreed with it
Yeah.
a little
what I
bit.
said
That's all I'm
was,
saying.
it is probably hard for people to even conceive that it's not dick riding or dick eating because it is not the norm. You don't
But
typically
but but here
hear
but here,
men on,
mm-hmm.
hold on,
No, you're
you
right.
don't
I'm about.
typically hear men on
Mhm.
spaces or on social media or on Twitter consistently telling another man, "I love you, you changed my life. I love you, I love you, I love you, you the man." You don't hear that.
So
It is
hold
a
on.
personality.
Let
Wait,
me.
wait, wait. It is a
All
personality
right.
that is unique to Flip.
No, but let me ask
I
you a
disagree
question.
with that.
Let me ask you a question
I
real
don't
quick,
give a
Rocky.
fuck what you
Rocky,
disagree with.
hold on. Don't be nervous. Give me a second. Let me ask you a question, Rocky. So if I was
Well,
bashing Joe,
Roz is becoming a Rocky thing
okay,
though.
ask the people this. You're the spokesperson for the people, yes?
I never claimed that, but I'll be there for the day.
Okay, good. If I was bashing Joe, would
That
that
would
be
have been more norm and typical for the platform. Yes.
Even them
Absolutely.
niggas that be over there bashing Joe do it in some hey we're a dick rider community. Cause why y'all even talk about me that much?
that's a fact?
You
I,
love it. Shut up.
no, it's not. No, why do you think a nigga love it? But he's asking a natural question.
No,
I
he
agree.
loves that shit. Hate,
Maybe.
love, don't it don't matter how the fuck you talk about, just talk about him.
I mean,
Do
it
you
comes
know
with the
Joe from
territory.
years ago with his mouth?
Yes.
Do I know Joe?
I was just asking a question because I don't know.
Yes, I know Joe.
Oh, okay.
But here's the
Very
thing.
well.
Here's my problem with
No,
this.
she does.
When
Joe.
are you gonna fucking hang it up?
Joe, Joe, you crazy, Joe.
I'm dead
When are you
ass.
gonna hang it
It
up?
be too many people that just hang on to whatever they knew of a person. Like
Oh, I see what you're saying.
you
But
don't,
I
you
mean, it
you
depends
don't
too. I
know.
get
You
it
So
because
me and
don't.
people
Joe fell
change,
out.
so
Wait, wait,
you
wait.
might not
What
know this
year
new
was
Hold on,
that?
version
y'all.
of
Hold
him.
on,
What year
y'all.
was that? What year was that? Was that
Who?
5 years ago?
No,
More
more
than
than
that.
that. Way more than that. Way more than that.
Who
I'm
you?
speaking about
Who? Wait, wait. Who's
15.
saying way more than that?
That's
That's
me,
No,
you,
I'm
40.
40.
saying when me and
40,
Joe,
hold on,
when me
40.
and Joe, our last fallout was like 5 years ago
More than
or
that.
more, six.
COVID was 5 years ago, so
So it was about COVID. Yeah, it was COVID around that
I,
time.
I I could argue more than that, but I won't.
No, no, no,
My
no,
memory
no.
is my memory is fuzzy on
Yes,
all of
your
these
memory
things.
is always been blurred. But yeah, it
Okay.
was around
So this
COVID.
is I want to know the point you're trying to make. Okay, if it says 5 or 6 years ago you fell out.
Hmm. So to say I don't know him is ridiculous, but maybe I knew him. Now he has evolved within the last 5 years. He's experienced shit that he's never experienced before in life in the time that I've been around him. So yeah, maybe I knew Joe.
could you be around somebody and not know them?
We're not even gonna play this game. I'm not gonna disrespect the time that I was around. He can play the game however he wants to entertain you guys, but he knows better.
I'm just saying. I think I'm making valid points. Like
I think you're putting on as per usual.
So Joe acting
I'm
brand
not
new
putting
right
on,
now.
but I listened to you in that space last night. I did, and I don't bother with it because there's no reward in it. So, and everyone should be allowed whatever their version of truth is. But you be getting some
So
shit.
now, so here's the thing.
You be getting some shit off under the guise of
You just said your
I'm
memory
never
is
gonna
faulty,
reply. I'm never gonna address it. I'm gonna stay silent because I'm solid. Because I'm solid.
Joseph. Now, solid could be shaky.
My
You
solid
not
is sturdy. See, and that's the problem that we have in today. Everybody got their own version of what solid and sturdy
sure.
is.
Just like I would say, I'm
Solid
solid,
to
and
me
you'll
is if
probably
we ain't
disagree.
spoke in 6, 7 years, if we
It
don't
wouldn't be six,
speak,
7 years.
if we both have our own version of why we don't speak, then what
Hmm.
the fuck are you talking about me every day for? With
Actually,
with
you're talking.
with them
So
niggas, and
in
all I'm gonna say is
hold
them
on,
niggas, because you know what
hold
that
on.
mean. I don't have to say it, but it's like
I know.
it's like
But can I say something real quick,
yeah.
too?
So
Rocky, let me just say something to this.
can I answer the first
Oh,
question?
well, I want to. Yes, you can. Yeah.
So the question is, why am I speaking to those niggas about you? It's not really specifically about you. It's a podcast room. Like, so these are talking to people who
Rocky, five
break
seconds
down your
into your
podcast. So
five seconds.
the conversation at hand was about podcasting and something that happened during the podcast time. And in fact, I'm almost perturbed at the stance you're taking because this I would really think Maul would have more of an issue with what I said than you because it was really geared toward how Maul felt about a certain aspect of the pod, which was not in his favor. So confusion. And you just admitted that your memory is pretty fuzzy anyway, so I don't expect you to to remember every detail of everything that's transpired. You've admittedly used that as a
Rocky,
cover
you
for
was
you.
in there saying that you was supposed to be the female hire on the old podcast.
What I said was,
I heard that with
what
my
I said
own
was,
ears. And
what I
because I
said.
don't ever reply to this shit because it's like, for what and
So
why? But it's like, dog, like, what are
let's
we
be clear.
doing to these people?
So
What do
the
you have
topic
to
the
gain
topic
out of telling these stories to these strangers?
so the
Like,
topic of the conversation was the usual suspects picture for that podcast. You remember that? You remember I was supposed to be in the lineup, or you don't remember that either?
Rocky, that's not
I'm
true.
asking you a question. I'm asking you a question.
I'm answering it. That's
Can you
not
say yes?
true.
That's not true,
No.
Joe.
Who was the
You
girl
literally
in the
gave
usual
me
suspects picture?
that was
Rocky, what
supposed
are
that
you
in
talking
your
about?
listen. Why are you so passionately going? Let's have a conversation. That was the joke of it all because I would not have been one of the usual suspects. That's what was going to make the contrast. It was something that you thought of when we were sitting there at the dining table, me, you, Maul, and you said, put me in the shit because that would have made me not part of the usual suspects. Maul was not happy with that. After that, I think I jumped on the mic once or two times around that time. You and I had conversations of things that you wanted me to address Maul about to kind of shake Maul up a little bit. That didn't go well because the first time I was on the mic, Me and Maul kind of went at it because Maul started retweeting fucked up comments about me. Remember, you and I had a conversation like, yo, why is Maul quoting and retweeting fucked up comments? You don't remember any of this though.
I don't remember
But
yesterday,
that's the
which
point.
leads
So
me to
that's what
my
makes it
main
what
point
makes it.
of what the fuck does it matter?
So I'm gonna tell you what the fuck it matters. Just like if someone goes on goddamn Drink Champs or any other goddamn platform and talks about the history of podcasting and hip hopping and just stories of entertainment and us being in this industry and in this world together, it's fucking storytelling. That's what the fuck it matters.
Rocky, storytelling is not what you do for a living.
You don't know
Why
what it is I do for a living.
why is it
So
see,
here's the
and
thing.
that's the way, hold it up.
Because now one
That's the thing.
go ahead.
There's this line drawn where some of y'all say y'all doing shit under the guise of content creation, but you're not content creating. You don't have a podcast. You don't have a desire to start a podcast. You're not gonna start a podcast.
Why
You just
how do
in
you
here
know what I'm
gossiping
going
with
to
some
do?
niggas
You
you don't
don't
know.
know what I'm going to do.
Rocky, I
See, and
know
here's the
because
thing. There's
we have a 15-year
Mhm.
sample size to see when somebody want to do. Like, who are you talking to with this?
So here's the thing. I have other obligations. I have two
Rocky,
no, no,
stop
no,
it.
no, no, let's be clear. I have two publishing deals right now with one of the biggest publishing houses in the world. And so if I jump on to a podcast and do what it is that I love, it could interfere with what I got going on with a publisher because they like to carry, literary subjects, authors in a different light, which is contrasting to who I am as a personality. So that has always been a pitfall for me where they want to hold me in one light. Okay, this woman is intelligent, she can write her ass off, blah, 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 but her mouth is filthy. Now, me coming on spaces and storytelling and doing my thing, it's just me getting my shit off because bottom line is my first love was always radio. That's how I met you. I met you with my mic in your face. So, what are we talking about? So saying I'm not a content creator, which I've never said I was a content creator, but saying that I have no value in telling stories on spaces just as everyone else does, I don't
I
know what
never said that. I never said that. I never said that. I would just think that how you carry it, you would have more pride than to speak about so many other people's stories. Like there's
but that
more
isn't
to
that
your
that's
story.
mhm.
Like there's a lot more to your story than me.
Well, okay,
There's
I
no
agree.
reason, there's no
I
like
I'm sorry. I agree. I agree
whatever happened
totally.
happened. It's over. It's the past. It's like a history type of thing. You doing whatever you're doing. Like why? It's just odd. It is odd.
So
It's odd
so
that you
let's
partake
be
in these
very
things.
clear on this too. I agree 100%. But also understand that on Twitter, which is an app that I abandoned for 10 plus years and just moved over to Instagram where no one says your name, no one's even concerned with is in my world, right? In my universe. But on Twitter, coming back into Twitter, people know me by being directly connected to you in the relationship that we once had. A lot of these spaces are connected to the Joe Budden podcast because that's what you curated. Like this is pretty much your realm. So me being involved in parts of that history is a value to this app, and people do want to hear that story, whether you like it or not. Whether I
See,
talk
that's a long-winded way of just saying that I'm your universe.
on Twitter, yes, no,
Mm. That was a real
Eh.
long,
but here's the
drawn
thing.
out way of
I
saying,
have no.
yo,
I'm not
you
gonna.
are my entire universe.
I'm
And
sorry.
if I take you out of that story, then I really don't have shit to say.
No, that's not the correct answer. That is not the correct answer. No, me having something to say. This is your for the most part. This is
And
your
know why it's
space.
real funny? Because I know the other stories. It's like
There's great stories. There's tons of it. There's great
much
stories.
more compelling than
But it took
anything
so,
Joe
but you gotta
Budden
understand
related,
me
girl.
breaking back into Twitter, I had to go through hell of your community to get to where I'm at now, to get to where I can be on stage with Flip, and
That's
he's not
cap.
treating me
You
like
could have went somewhere and started your own fucking crew, community, and crowd based off your own body. You wasn't forced to have to deal with all of
but
this
who's
shit like you was in some type of abuse system.
no one's saying that, Joe. No one said I was
You
forced.
just said that.
No one said I was forced. Those are your words. I
You said
said that
coming back into this
I
community,
said that
coming back on Twitter, I had to deal with yada 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 from your
you
community,
had,
your
yes,
fans.
because you have curated a major corner of Twitter. When I left Twitter, my last standing was directly connected to you, Joe. So there was a beast that I did have to face in order to get myself traction again.
But
Well,
then you okay. I'm
when
sorry.
go ahead, Flair.
But then you chose to go on a smear campaign. So what was your
Why are
angle
we going
then?
back to that though?
No, I'm just saying. No,
Mhm.
okay, you're right. I apologize for going back, but that's how I got to know you, right? So when I ask the questions, this nigga don't want to have a conversation about it. He tells me, "Yo, I don't. I'm not." That's he moved on. I told you that. I said I don't even know the
So
story,
the smear
and
campaign wasn't just one way. Maybe this time it was, but there's been a smear campaign on my name as well.
I
We've
have
had issues.
I didn't
Both of
hear
us
it.
have had issues with each other. We've had great times and we've had fucked up times. But
But you went, but Rocky, you took, but
it
Rocky,
is a
listen.
part
How
of
about
our
this?
history though.
How about this? Let me just say this, Rocky. Let me just say
Mhm.
this real quick to you. You took it because you said earlier today that the reason that people may look past that is because that's how you guys came up. And
Mhm.
I told you that I get villainized for being loyal to a nigga. Like I'm loyal, that's my man, cool, cool, cool. I get villainized for being that way, and I feel like people take it. I feel like people look at me as a weak link or don't respect me if they think that they could just come in and have a conversation with me after disrespecting my man. We had an understanding about that. We talked about this earlier, but then me first hearing about you were you on a spaces with somebody else dissing Joe, and then you probably didn't calculate it right. At the end of the day, he went where he went. Everything, people disappeared, and then now you come on the spaces when everything calmed down, and now to me, you be cool. So it's confusing a little bit. You understand what
I
I'm
didn't.
saying? Like,
Yeah, but nah, I think you're still looking at it from a different angle. And it's,
okay,
I come onto spaces now where everything was cool. No, I went through the fire.
no, but you started the fire.
I did. I did.
You went live with
And I
niggas that
also
was bashing
and Flip
Joe.
and so here's the thing. So when for years I stayed off of Twitter, I abandoned Twitter again. I got on Twitter because of fucking Joe. Like my whole introduction to Twitter for years has been tied in me, Joe, and whoever else fell under the original Black Twitter banner
Hmm. Hmm.
years ago. Then shit got shaky. I left off the app, found a good space in Instagram. He and I fell in, got back together, fell out, got back together, back and forth for years going back and forth or whatever. I thought, as far as I'm concerned, we had better times than we didn't. We had a huge fallout because of Love and Hip Hop, which really put a stain on my name for years. We got past that. The last fallout that we had, which people still to this day don't know what that consists of because I'll never speak on it. The only fallout that they know that we've had was Love and Hip Hop, and I'll maintain that. Our last fallout really wasn't a fallout. It was a positionary thing where he felt a way about my position and I felt a way about his. That's it. There was no fallout. What happened was
Yeah, and then
wait, wait, wait.
and then
What
I
happened
don't want
was
to get into that, but when
Mhm.
I'm kind of
Okay, let's
I'm on
move past that. Sure.
I'm on my man's side with that. Just on the
That's
side,
fine. That's fine.
you
So
do shake. The point
we
I'm
had
trying
a
to make is that you a nice girl. Listen, the point I'm trying to make is that you took a stand. Fuck all that shit. You continuously take a stance with things that seems crazy, and then you're no longer a part of it, right? So what I mean is that
wait,
some of the
wait,
people in
you
here,
broke up a little bit. You broke up a little bit.
you take a stance, you take a opposite, you take a different stance that comes off crazy, and then when things start to die down, you come back, right? So let me give you an example. When we first heard about you, some of the people you were bashing Joe with tax, doing all that shit. Yo, we starting a podcast. I heard it. I'm like, oh, this lady is crazy. Smear. I went to the pod. Yo, Joe, what's this about? He said, I don't want to talk about it at all. I remember. And I talk about it. He didn't get in any details. I was just confused, so I had to go do my own research.
Well, no,
Cool.
that started because me and Imani.
Hold on.
And
Let me
wait, no, no,
finish.
'cause
Let me finish.
I want you to have the right setup.
I'm telling you, when
Me
I
and
first heard
Imani
about
crashed
you,
out. That's where the first.
got you. Okay, I didn't know. I'm telling you, when I first heard about you, was a smear campaign about my man
Well,
and making sure.
hold on, Flip. Hold on. I really don't want to dead this conversation, but we could really dead it with Rocky. You got to take the responsibility for some of this stuff started with you.
Sure,
Not even
I
some of it. All of it start.
100%.
All of it.
I do take
Hold
All
on,
of
E,
it
account.
started with
I
you.
do take
but
accountability.
wait, E, wait. I
Hold on.
got you, E.
So, for example, it got so bad that innocent bystanders got pulled into something, which is why me and you even crashed out. Because I felt like through all of this, no matter what, I made it very clear to you and everybody else. I am Joe. I'm an extension of Joe. That's my man's right, wrong, indifferent. I'm gonna ride with my
End up
man.
here today, but go.
Right? What you said?
I'm just trying to figure out how we end up here today.
So I'm giving an example of how he's saying why can't certain things just be avoided? Because even in certain moments where nothing even had to do with people who were innocent to the situation, they still get pulled into it. And it's not Joe pulling them into it, it was you. So that's how we even got to me and you crashing out. Because I felt like, yo, even if you and Joe have something, how does some other people get pulled into something that don't even be asked to be a part of it?
You're kind
So,
of like talking in codes, and I can't really. I'm not really. I need to
But hold on,
direct.
E.
no.
I
I'm not talking
understand
in
what E's
code.
saying, but E, listen, hold on, E.
But it gotta be
E,
like, what?
I like that. Oh,
I gotta deal with things.
Rocky.
I gotta deal with the money. I
No,
deal with Joe.
you could deal with E. I'm just saying, and I'm a mute up because I don't have a dog in this fight. But what I'm trying to tell you is that for me, knowing you, I heard when I first heard about you, you was on a smear campaign. To me personally,
Hmm.
I didn't understand it. It was
Okay.
confusing.
Hmm.
Cool, right? Then you took a stance to join up with niggas on spaces that are against, not against. They're fans of Joe, but they're just hate
So here's
watchers,
the
right?
thing.
Like they
Wait,
just
wait,
watch. Hold
wait. I
on.
want to go piece
Okay.
by piece
Yeah.
because I don't want you. I don't want to move forward and I miss this part. The
Got it.
people who I actually end up on stage with and having a cool dynamic with, when I first came, they were on super stand time when it came to Joe. I got skull dragged. My initial communication with that whole crew was straight up fire with fire. I knew me coming into these spaces, I was walking into a lion's den of Joe Budden fans who assume an issue between he and I, and I said, fuck it. If I'm gonna come back, because here's the thing, I was setting up to do my own podcast. So I figured I can't leave Twitter, a whole platform, alone if I'm trying to build some shit up. So let me go ahead and face the beast. So
Is it a situation where you thought them niggas would be more powerful than they really were?
no, I
Like,
thought
let's get to
no,
it.
I
Did you
thought
think that they were gonna help you? Do
no.
you think they were gonna
That
land
if
you
I'm
at Wheezy in them studios
fuck,
to do your part?
who's
Like, did you
Weezy?
think they was gonna be ill?
Who?
No. What
No,
I'm
no.
no.
Let
Listen,
me
Flip.
finish. But let me
Flip.
finish.
What I
Y'all
was.
can have an understanding.
I had to turn up E, my fault. Easy.
Go ahead. Go ahead. My bad.
Did you
It
think they
was
go
one
like? Did you
hundred
think that?
percent. I was avoiding entire.
Cause you was standing on them, like you like I'm the manager of the shit. Like you was lit. I heard you.
Let
So
me let
now
me finish
that
talking.
shit dead
Let
and
me
gone, nigga.
finish
Like
talking.
Justin Timberlake,
Let me
it's
finish
gone and
talking.
you back.
That's
I get it.
listen,
I'm sorry.
listen. Me coming on spaces and having dealings with anyone in any space, whether it's the WeWorks guys or the invasion of the body snatchers, all these weird ass fucking dynamics and shit and people had going on communities. Those were all branches of the Joe Budden TV, Joe Budden podcast.
But you hang
Listen,
out with,
listen,
but you
listen,
hang out
listen.
with,
Let me
you
finish.
hang out with everybody
Okay,
that goes against the nigga, and they
wait. Are
fall
you
to the
are you
side.
asking me questions to understand, or you just want to? What are we doing here?
I'm just
Because
showing you that you hang. I'm just showing you that everybody you aligned with,
but listen, but you
everybody
have
you
to
aligned
listen
with
because you
disrespects Joe.
but
That's what I'm
are
trying to
you
show you,
listening?
Rocky.
Listen, Flip.
You
You're
got me.
saying that everyone that I align with disrespects Joe, but when I got on this app, they were Joe Budden fans. I was fighting against them. They eventually flipped on Joe and came over, was like, you know what, Rocky ain't fucking half bad. It didn't start off with me coming into a room full of Joe Budden. There was no Joe Budden haters. They were all his fans. They all hated my fucking guts. And I said, fuck it, let's one up. I
Can I
went
just
in 100 V. I went in 100 V1 when I got on this motherfucker. It wasn't. They didn't let me in with arms wide open. Like, let's embrace Rocky. She's Joe Budden's villain. It was never the case. Those were Joe Budden's fans. They skull dragged me for two months
Wait,
straight.
what is the fuck?
Rocky?
Am I in the fucking
Rocky,
Matrix?
can I just give you? I just want to ask real quick.
Wait a second.
Do you remember how they all got familiar with who you were even? Because at a certain point, that fan base wasn't really too familiar with you. So when they got familiar with you, do you remember what caused that?
Yeah, I was talking shit. Do you?
And that's weird. Why do you go and Joe Budden dominated
No, no, no,
spaces? And
no,
this
no,
is
no, no.
the past. And this
No,
is
no,
the
no, no. Wait,
past. I'm
wait,
not
wait, wait,
even
wait,
in
wait,
this.
wait. Because y'all
Everybody
came in
done
the
found their tribe, hopefully, by now. So I'm not even getting into this.
no, no,
But
no. Your
that's
page ended.
weird.
Okay,
And that's
so let me
my
ask you
point
something.
about
Wait, no,
all
no,
of
no,
this
no.
inconsequential shit that y'all talking about,
So
right?
here's
It's
the
like
thing.
it
So
is
let's talk about let's
2025.
talk about what's weird and what's not because
Everybody
again,
go create your own vibe. Curate your
yo,
own
you are
vibe.
really jacking your own dick for no reason.
No, y'all jack my dick every
I
day, and I
also
Wait,
have to be
wait,
can
professional
I
wait,
say
wait,
something?
wait.
businessman
Can I say
and
something?
No, no,
sit
no, no,
tight
no, no. Wait, let me say
and
something.
just listen to y'all
So if
get lies
everyone is
off.
on social media. Everyone's on Twitter and social media, whether it's spaces or you're actually typing in comments on your page, right? Everyone's here to state their own opinions, their own life. So if I had something to say about Imani, if I added Imani at that time, I added Imani in my comments, and Joe Budden's universe found me through my comments, not in someone else's blog, not in someone else's space. They came over to my world like, who is this bitch talking shit to Imani? And then I got dragged in the net. Then it is what it is. But to say that that's weird, you do that's what you do for a living. You talk about other people's lives or your opinion and shit. So if I'm on my feed and I had an opinion about a podcast that you and Imani did that I felt conflicted about, what's the difference between what you doing and what I was doing? Besides the fact that you're getting paid to do it.
That's quite a difference.
Nothing.
That's quite a difference. Me doing it
Outside
for
looking
a
in,
living.
it just seems like listening to what you both are saying. It sounds like when you came back on Twitter,
Hmm.
it's kind of like you rode Joe's coattail,
No, no,
whether
no,
it was
no,
good or bad,
no,
whether it
no.
was like
He
to
can't. He
talk your
can't
shit
possibly
and to
say
get
that.
it out there.
He can't say
I'm,
that.
I'm,
What happened
I'm not
was
saying that he can. I'm saying that's what it looks like. Whether that's what you wanted it to look like or your intentions or
no.
whatever,
I came
That's
in.
that's
what
what
it
it.
I
It looks
is,
like you
man.
used.
no.
It
I
looked
came.
like you used your beef with Joe or whatever issues with Joe or with people to like fuel your comeback to like so people could like know who you are
So
because
here's the thing
now
about
you're
that.
gonna be associated with the girl who
I
got
got
beef
that.
with Joe.
So
Because a
let me
lot of
explain this
stories I
because
heard about it through you. I didn't
we
hear from
just spoke
nobody else.
about. Here's the thing. This is the catch 22 for what you guys keep saying. And we just talked about clout and how it pays nothing, right? And then we just talked. Joe just said, "Rock, you're not a content creator. You're not making content. You won't make content." So if that's all the case, right? And I have no desire to make content or start a podcast at this stage, right? What would be the benefit?
Who's that? Coffee?